Hey, Action Shelf listeners, before we jump into the show itself, we want to tell you about how you can get even more action in your life. That appeals to you.
More action. More action. You say.
More action,
John.
you say. Yes. If you go over to our Podbean patron page, that's patron.podbean.com/punchup. You can listen to Listman and I watch, what's this? Good action movies.
Good action movies, you say?
That's right. A change of pace. We thought behind the paywall, let's give people something of quality.
And give us something of quality.
I know. It's such a pleasure to do that. So twice a month, you and I will be doing commentary tracks that you can download for good action movies, all kinds of awesome stuff from a lot of our heroes like John Woo. And we've done stuff from the John Wick franchise and Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, all the guys we never get to talk about on here.
Yeah, so stuff we legitimately love and love to share with you all.
Yeah. So you can listen to that as well as other cool exclusive content from the Punch Up Entertainment Network shows. Once again, the address for that is patron.podbean.com/punchup. And now, into the action.
The Action Show. Action Show. The Action Show. The Action Show.
Welcome to the Action Shelf. The podcast celebrates the glory of B action movies. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Michael Listman.
Oh, Listman, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh no.
I'm so glad you're still doing that bit from last year. This is our big Christmas spectacular as we do every year.
Yes, the crescendo of which Christmas is, I don't know. This is the end point of our month, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is kind of the
zenith.
We're gonna do another movie for December, but it'll be our year-end episode. So next week's episode won't be another Christmas action movie.
Yes.
It'll just be our end of the year one.
Man, another year.
I know. Yeah, can you believe that? 2 years of this show and we're still alive.
That's crazy. We have not lost our minds, as far as we can tell.
Well, as far as we can tell.
Yeah, exactly. If listeners have noticed some unusual tics in our personality, please let us know. Some troubling signs.
I have noticed Listman mentioning the Illuminati more.
That's
now.
True. Yeah. There are lizard people that control every government on Earth. I do know this.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of weird,
God.
cryptic prophecies,
man, I am so glad. I mean, we did jumble around because this year we did, unlike last year, we did a whole month of these Christmas movies.
Yes.
But we did kind of want to finish up with something in the weird subgenre of the Christmas disaster movie.
There's a lot of there's more Christmas disaster movies than like any other type of Christmas movie. I think.
Well, I think
at least in our sort of
in our world, because I do think it's sort of like the two big ones, and this is all on like cable TV, are the Hallmark rom-coms.
Yes.
And then the Sci-Fi Channel Christmas disaster movies.
Yes, and that is fully what this is, sci-fi original
this
content.
This is not made by the Sci-Fi Channel, but the whole time I was watching, I'm going, this had to have. And so when after it was over, I did look it up, and of course this did originally air on the Sci-Fi Channel, and the movie we're talking about is 2012's The 12 Disasters of Christmas.
Yes. Now this movie is so much weirder than I think either of us anticipated.
Way weirder.
We were kind of anticipating like a knockoff of Roland Emmerich's 2012.
Absolutely, yeah. Something in the vein of we did Christmas Twister last year, which was just, what if there was a Twister on Christmas? And you're like,
right.
Okay. This is a billion times weirder.
Yes.
Number one, in what's going on, then in what the explanation of it is,
yes,
then in how to stop it.
Yes. It's all very strange.
It's very the thing I thought the title was just the 12 Disasters of Christmas, like a play on it. I did not expect the song "The 12 Days of Christmas" to be a backbone of the mythology.
You didn't expect there to be a cryptic, dark origin story for the song 12
I gotta
Days
say,
of Christmas?
the Mayan calendar thing. We were just talking about this before we recorded. The Mayan calendar thing spawned so many disaster movies because screenwriters, as we know, as people who write movies ourselves, you're always just looking for things. So as soon as that started to get into the public consciousness, there's no question that people went like, "Ooh, there's a reason. There's a thing that can set off a disaster movie."
Yes.
But so that's neither here nor there. The thing that got me is the Mayans wrote the 12 Days of Christmas.
Yes. Yes. The 12 Days of Christmas predates the birth of Jesus Christ, is what we're led to believe in this movie.
Which is nuts.
This movie
I gotta look this up.
Crazy.
I'm going, where did that song actually come from?
Oh, that's, yeah.
It's gotta be like 1800s, right?
Something like that, yeah. If we actually took our jobs a little bit more seriously,
we would have done
looked
this
this up before.
Originally written 1780. Okay, so yeah, close.
There were Mayans in the 1780s, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not much of a history person, but I'm pretty sure there were Mayans in the 1780s.
I think that's about right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the Mayans existed in like BC Canada. I'm pretty sure they had an outpost up there, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's about right.
Yes,
yes. Or Idaho, as this movie claims to take place.
It certainly claims to be in Idaho.
It does claim to be in Idaho, but it was. I have this where it was. By the way, if the locale didn't tell you this is Canada, the parade of Canadian accents in this movie.
Yes.
Like everyone is just like, "Oh, hey there, how you doing?"
But they are distantly related to Mayans. We know this.
Yeah, I know. This was shot entirely in the town of Squamish. Squamish, British Columbia.
Wow, that's hard to say.
Squamish, yeah.
Squamish.
Yeah, freaking Canadians.
A little town. Well, there's weird little towns here in our home state of Oregon.
Yeah.
But Squamish, interesting.
Something we were talking about too is one of the things we've been tracking over the course of the series are these production companies. So I just took a click here on.
Yes.
This comes to us from Cinetel Films.
Yes.
Cinetel. Jesus, I can't read today. Cinetel Films. And we've seen. We saw a little film called Kill Chain with Nicolas Cage that they produced.
Okay.
Let's see. What else have they got here? I will say between this show and Meet the Monsters, we're covering a lot of this. They gave us. They also gave us the year before this
Snowmageddon. Love it.
Of course.
Love it.
Okay. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to watch this movie. Sharkensaw Women's Prison Massacre.
Oh no.
I didn't know this was possible. They've combined the Shark Attack movie and the women's prison subgenre. Because we're actually in person on this one, I can just go ahead and spin this to you here. Because see, it's Arkansas Women's Prison, but they've painted in the SH in red.
Oh wow, that's very clever. Wow, and they got Dominic Swain and Tracy Lords.
Yes, former porn star Tracy Lords.
That's not, John. Nothing you've said is shocking to me anymore. I'm not surprised about any of this.
We have to cover this
movie.
movie.
Yes,
this is going to be something's going to get knocked out of next year's calendar to talk about this because who in there goes like, well, people like shark movies, and people like women in prison films. What if we put them together?
There's something very alchemical about mixing different ingredients of subgenres together. You know what I mean?
It is, and it's
mad science.
It's total mad science, and I'm looking. Yeah, some of us. They also did Stonehenge Apocalypse in 2010.
Okay,
so they just are.
They just make these kinds of films.
Yes, they do, and I do know. I think it's on next year's calendar. We are doing their movie Bulletproof, which is Gary Busey fighting Mexico. So, Gary Busey stumbles onto. I believe the plot is Gary Busey stumbles onto a attempted Mexican invasion of the United States, and only he can stop it. So.
Oh, wow. Can't wait for that. Man, that's going to be there's no chance of this movie being racist, right?
Oh no,
it's going to be very politically sensitive. It's going to be very understanding of the Mexican people.
The other thing they produce aside from these are sexy vampire movies, which takes us back over to the Meet the Monsters stuff. So.
Right. So there's a lot of marketability in that subgenre as well. So
there is. I will say there's not a lot of consistency. It is that they're like, we're going to get in on every cheap subgenre we can get our hands on.
Yes.
So, and shoot it in Canada, baby. Yeah, where it's cheap.
Yeah.
And this comes to us from director Stephen R. Monroe. I don't know. Did you look this guy up?
I did not. No.
Primarily, we've talked about that sort of in the world of the Christmas movies, there are your Hallmark rom-coms and your disaster movies. This guy, most of his career are the Hallmark rom-com.
Yes, because if there's a Venn diagram of those two industries, it's one circle.
Mm-hmm. I will say, though, he takes it even further in that he directs because people don't like the Hallmark Christmas movies is a big thing, but Hallmark makes rom-coms for every holiday.
That's true.
And so he's done a lot of those. Who could forget his Thanksgiving hit, Pumpkin Pie Wars?
Why do they have to all be... Thank you for showing me, John.
Pumpkin Pie Wars.
Okay. Why do they all have to be holiday themed?
That just seems like that's kind of the brand over there, right?
Is there an Arbor Day one?
I bet they've done it, man. I bet they've done it.
The trees fight back.
May
Day,
but certainly a lot of the Christmas ones.
Yes. Well, that is very popular, so that makes sense.
And he also made a movie called First Person Shooter that feels like we should probably... Oh!
Jesus Christ, John.
Okay, if anything, it's called First Person Shooter, and it's a Tubby original.
Ooh.
Now, we watch a lot of stuff on... And I know, stop with the letters. We know it's called Tubi, but we call it
stop
Tubby.
with the physical handwritten letters you've sent us.
There you go. First Person Shooter, a Tubby original.
Okay. All right. So
it seems to be a horror movie centered around video game creation.
That tracks. Was this movie made in 2001, John?
The First Person Shooter?
Yeah.
It actually came out this year in 2022.
Oh, weird. Written and directed by Jack Thompson.
Yeah, I know, right? It is kind of like, well, this is what happens.
That's a reference that people our age will get, but
oh my god,
nobody any younger.
When you said that, I am kind of like, man, I remember when I just fucking hated that guy, and I haven't thought about him in a long time.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I do have to. Sidney Roper, who's one of the writers on this movie, only has 3 credits.
That makes sense.
And they're all disaster movies. So this is the first one.
And they're all disasters.
That was my joke for this. The 12 Disasters at Christmas, just one disaster. This movie. Am I right? But they also wrote something called End of the World, and then, oh God, once again, listen, the movie is called Independence Disaster.
Whoa.
Independence Disaster.
Disaster.
Yeah. And I recognize some of these actors from other Action Shelf movies.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, let's dive into this movie.
Now that we have some context for what this movie is.
that's who's responsible here.
Yes.
So much of this cast was made up of like, I think I've seen this guy in some stuff.
I don't know if that's true. Well, maybe. I don't know. The old man looked familiar.
Yes, because he's a guy. Now, him in particular, and he's our and. I love when there's an and I go, who? Because usually the and is where you get like, it's like
Gary Busey
and Keith Carradine or whatever.
Yes.
But here it's and Donnelly Rhodes. And the answer to this is I know him as the Doctor from Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, okay. The newer one, right?
Yeah, he played Dr. Coddle on Battlestar Galactica. But he's a guy who just was in a billion things.
Yes. Regular working actor.
Yeah. But I mean, like, he was also in an episode of every single show that's shot in Vancouver. Mm-hmm. You know, so he's in a Smallville, he's in a Psych, he's in a Big Galactica shot up there. You know, he plays the grandpa in Tron Legacy, you know, that kind of stuff.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Like, yeah. So the answer is one of those things where it's like, Doc Coddle from Battlestar is probably what I know him best from.
But he's in a million things.
Yeah, couple episodes of Supernatural.
I will say
like that.
He was probably the strongest performance in this movie because everybody else was terrible. But
Ed Quinn who is our leading man here, and oof, this guy.
And Bradley
Boring.
Cooper knockoff.
Yes.
Low rent Bradley Cooper.
I was trying the whole time to go, who does he vaguely resemble? And you just hit it for me there. Vaguely Bradley Cooper. Sometimes when I watch these movies,
Yes.
and this is distinctly that,
Yes.
is when I go, okay, yeah, this is one of these guys where you squint, you're like, oh yeah, like handsome leading man.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take very long to go like, oh, there's a reason he didn't hit it big.
Yeah. He really is not emoting at
No,
all.
I
He's
know-
not showing any concern for his daughter at all.
He's a Sci-Fi Channel guy. Do you remember
Yes.
the show Eureka?
Yes.
He was like a third or fourth lead on Eureka.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he was on that show.
God, I haven't thought about that show in a while.
Yeah, that was very much in this era on Sci-Fi Channel, so that makes sense.
That was a strange era for sci-fi. I actually kind of really liked that kind of
That was
stuff.
Eureka, your Warehouse 13.
Yes.
Things were a little bit lighter-hearted.
Yeah.
Those shows were pretty good. I was watching a lot of those.
Yeah, it was before the, I think, cynical transition that the Sci-Fi Channel eventually, made.
Well, there was also the weird like post-Galactica thing where they kept trying to make gritty sci-fi
Yes.
stuff, and that stuff was
Yeah,
shitty.
that stuff was also shitty.
Yeah.
They really needed to lean into the camp, I think, in order
Those
to
were their
find-
most successful
Yeah,
shows, or
yeah.
even something like a Stargate that was like, oh, we're not trying to be prestige.
Yeah.
we're just fun. It's just sort of a Star Trek
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and now I don't even know if they have an identity as a network anymore.
Yeah, it's Sharknado.
That's right. But anyway, him, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of remember him from Eureka, but
Yeah. Boy, he's not.
God, he's terrible.
He's
in
not
this.
bringing it in this movie. We
No
try not
one's-
to be very judgmental of people based on one performance,
But
but
he has to carry this thing, and I will say he is just not.
No.
It is not working.
no.
And then it just descends from there. I
Yep.
feel like everybody's pretty bad in this.
Yes. As soon as the grandpa died, Grant, I think what his name was. As soon as he died,
Yeah.
there ceased to be any really good. I'd say the villain was all right.
Kane?
Yeah, Kane.
Rourke Critchlow. Now there's
That
a
is
name.
a name.
Rourke
Yeah.
Critchlow.
Critchlow.
And this is
Nice.
another Canada guy. Lots and lots of Hallmark movies.
Yes.
Because they all shoot up there too.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Including, oh god, I love randomly looking at these titles. Murder She Baked. I don't know. Murder She Baked. Because that's also a thing too. That they're
my
also
God.
Hallmark has an entire channel devoted to their mystery movies. too.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. But I mean, like, he did a couple episodes of Battlestar. He wasn't as many as, but yeah, he's okay. Some CSIs in there and stuff.
I have to say, the motivation for the villain was weirdly well communicated, if that makes sense.
But also, he takes the turn into crazy so fast.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you... The first hint I had that this guy was going to go nuts was actually at the very beginning of the movie, when it's panning over all of the signs.
Right.
And you see his sign, and I don't know if you noticed, but the design of Kane Industries, the K in the center of the white dot surrounded by a red poster, and his black and white K looks very reminiscent of a swastika.
It does kind of, yeah.
I thought that was a little on the nose.
Oh, on the nose, you say? In this movie?
In this movie? Yeah, no, I know.
Because, also, this is a Christmas movie where the two main characters are named Joseph and Mary.
Yes, but they're also... I don't know if they're Christian. They don't espouse... The only buddy who espouses, like, Christian rhetoric is the villain.
It's true. No, this is a secular movie that is just borrowing the pop culture story of the first Christmas.
Yes, exactly.
Because I gotta say though, Joseph, Mary, and then did you catch the daughter's name?
I've forgotten already.
It's JC. J.C.
John, how did I miss that? How did I fucking miss that?
It is
She is the chosen one.
Jacey, JC. But about halfway through the movie, I went,
"Oh my God,
JC. Oh, go to hell,
Jesus
movie.
Christ.
Yeah.
Don't
and
do
her
John
brother-
Cusack like that. Oh wait, is it referencing something?
It might be actually referencing a little bit something. Are you familiar with
what about Joan Cusack?
It's Joan Cusack.
What about Joan Crawford? Is that who
a Joan Crawford reference? Yeah. But yeah, and the villain named Kane, and of course JC's brother Peter. Literally, this movie has Peter, Paul, and Mary in it. So just think about that. Oh, and we have the other guy who's conflicted through this, Jude. Jude.
Yeah, a reference to the popular Paul McCartney song,
Hey Jude.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
actually, just singing that, Paul McCartney has sued us.
He has, yeah. We have just gone bankrupt.
Yeah, that's right there, yeah.
Our lawyers just sent us a memo about that. So.
But one of the only pieces of trivia is the principal cast are named after biblical characters.
You don't say.
But, yeah, as you're saying, this movie has nothing to say about that. It is all... That is just the screenwriters of this being like, wink, wink, wink. Yeah.
It's a good way to not have to come up with names, Because coming up with names for characters can be hard.
It is. So just don't do the work. Is the
Yeah,
answer,
exactly. So. Yeah. Just be really lazy.
Oh, my God. Okay, so let's talk about how this movie opens up here. Number one, just as I expected, it's a father-daughter rock climb. That they do shockingly pay off. I couldn't believe it.
That is true. They did pay this off at the end.
They did. It is, yeah. For her birthday, they've gone rock climbing. It is near Christmas time and JC's birthday.
Interesting.
Interesting. But is one of the things the movie does not... I did not get a sense... Is it Christmas?
No,
it's Christmas time, right?
It's around Christmas time because it's isn't it December 12th, right? That's the Mayan.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, yeah. So that's interesting.
So she's not born on Christmas, which I guess technically, if you neither was Jesus, but we don't have to get into that.
Well, no, yeah.
But so she's not actually born on Christmas. She's born on
December 12th.
December 12th.
But that's still the Mayan. Oh my God. And for some reason the Mayans have located all of this stuff in Idaho.
It is, and not like in deep like caverns or any place.
No.
Just kind of like maybe, I don't know, a couple inches below the surface of,
or like behind a rock.
Behind a rock somewhere, or like in a stump.
Yeah, in a
the main drive of this movie is geocaching.
It is.
They are geocaching these rings.
And it being the 12 days of Christmas, they must find the 5 golden rings.
5 golden rings.
I cannot believe that.
My favorite is that some of the actual things that are listed in 12 Days of Christmas actually do play a part in the apocalypses.
Yes.
But the other ones don't at all.
No, they play fast and loose with that.
They abandoned that theme immediately. Speaking of lazy screenwriting.
No, it is because I remember from an Office joke where it is like, is it my fault that the first 7 days are all birds? But it is kind of like they just sort of they have the catch-all of the headline of birds dying.
Yes,
right, and that's it. Just like there's all
and
the birds.
That's days 1 through 4 or something.
Yeah, because it is like we're on the 5th disaster when this movie starts, right?
Yeah. A partridge in a pear tree died. 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
4 calling birds. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that is 1 through 4 are all birds.
1 through 4 are all birds, and then you get to 5 golden rings. Man,
Wait,
yeah. Where were the leaping lords or the milkmaids?
That was not in there.
Yeah, I know.
True.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
they did have 12 drummers drumming.
Yes.
Or no, it's not 12 drummers drumming.
12 drummers.
No,
11 drummers drumming.
Something like that. I don't know. Those were the volcano. 10 drummers.
10 drummers.
Yeah, we clearly
bring
don't.
up the fucking song.
Yeah, let's bring up the song. John, this is very important.
I know, yeah, this really is. Well, because this movie is... But that's sort of the thing where I'm like, all right, if you're going to do it, then commit to that shit.
Then actually come up with interesting, like...
No, it is 12 drummers drumming.
Okay.
Oh, I think it is. Oh, hold on here. Wait a minute. Okay, what I'm finding here is there are... As
different
with a lot
versions.
Of things, yes. Because as I said, this was originally written in 1780, but the one we're
was
familiar...
It, John?
Or was it exactly? But the one we're familiar with, it didn't solidify into what we know until 1909, they say, is when it kind of like settled into, like a lot of stuff. Okay. 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping.
Where are the pipers?
I didn't see
Why
that.
isn't there a piper and like they could do like a Pied Piper thing?
9 ladies dancing.
Okay, I don't remember any dancing.
No, 7 swans a swimming.
Ooh, those are the birds.
6 geese a laying. Yeah, see,
More birds.
More
Jesus.
birds. It goes from 4 calling birds, 5 golden rings. You get a brief break from the birds,
Mm-hmm.
then right back into more birds.
Okay, so wait, John, you're forgetting the one where giant ice spikes are falling from the sky.
Oh my god. Can I talk about? I will say this
the best
movie,
death in the movie.
Yeah. The grandmother just getting an ice spike through her gut.
I'm just like, okay, movie.
I know.
All right.
The problem is the movie. There's a couple moments that come close to it, but it did sort of promise a level of insanity it does not keep up.
Yes.
They use this too early. An old lady getting impaled by an ice spike. There was sort of nowhere to go.
It was so
Although I
good.
will say we'll talk about the Christmas light death later.
Oh,
which is also
my
pretty fucking
God.
great.
Yes, there's so much to unpack there.
There's a lot of weird, bad CGI Sci-Fi Channel deaths.
Yes,
And that's the thing. This movie would get super boring for a long stretch of time, and then somebody would die in a completely stupid way.
then there'd be 30 seconds of brilliance,
Yeah.
and then it would go back to the most boring movie
Because
you've ever seen.
I will say, as insane as this plot is, this movie's pretty boring.
It's very boring. It's so like. First, I would say half hour, I was really engaged, taking a lot of notes.
Yes,
I was
exactly.
loving it. And then, past that point, I was checking how much more of the film there was every 10 minutes.
The second, the last hour of the movie is basically just, we're looking for a ring. We're trying to capture the girl. And it just kind of goes back and forth and round and round.
Yes, nothing else happens besides those two things.
There are 2 separate fistfights between Joseph and Cain that
Yes.
might as well be the same scene.
Yes. Was Cain's brother named Abel?
Cain's brother was named Aaron.
Oh, so it's an A name.
Yeah. Well, I love the idea that it's like, let's back off. and
He
not
also
go
didn't
on.
kill his brother.
No, his brother was frozen in half by ice.
He didn't die. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Just his legs got frozen off,
And they just left
and
him
they
out
just,
there.
they just left him out there. They're like, he's dead. It's like
'Cause
he wouldn't be dead.
When they came back into the sheriff's station, I went, wait, isn't that guy still alive?
that's what
When
Maggie
everybody's
and I
going
were
like,
saying.
oh, man.
God, what a shame. What a shame that nobody
Yeah.
wanted to bring Aaron into the building.
Well, if we want to talk about, let's talk about Peter.
Which one's Peter?
Peter's the son.
Oh, yes. You hinted at a dark backstory for this actor.
Yeah, so this is Ryan Grantham is this actor here.
Okay, that sounds like a fake name, but all right.
Once again, a lot of Canadian credits, lots of CW shows and such. However, Canadian child actor, he was very recently in June of 2022. He was on trial for murdering his mother.
Good Lord.
The prosecution also revealed that after he killed his mother, he formulated a plan to assassinate Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Mm-hmm. And I should note to the audience that in his manifesto are the lyrics of 12 Days of Christmas.
This movie, yeah.
Over and over and
over
again.
again.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, so-
he was found guilty of second-degree murder and is currently serving a life sentence.
Well,
So, yikes.
so it turns out this movie was the second worst thing that happened to him.
Ryan Grantham, yes,
Yeah.
killed his mother, and then for some reason, his next stop was going to be the Prime Minister of
Well,
Canada.
you know, he just had to get. This is a very dark conversation we're having. He had to get the taste for blood, I guess.
It's just so. I don't quite understand what happened with this guy.
Who knows?
He was also apparently on Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Okay, I remember that being a thing.
Yeah. Prosecutors claimed he packed his car with 3 guns, ammunition, 12 Molotov cocktails, camping supplies, and a map with directions to Rideau Cottage in Ottawa.
Okay.
Yeah. He did apparently change his mind and confessed rather than kill the Prime Minister. So
Okay. Well,
that's something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently he had some mental health issues is what was
I think that is evident. Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
I don't know.
oh boy.
Man. Yikes. Yeah. So, anyway,
back to this
this movie.
travesty.
His character is almost meaningless. We can almost toss him and the mother out of this plot entirely.
Why are they in this movie at all?
I don't know. And there's this whole weird subplot with them because the bulk of the movie is the father and daughter looking for the rings, right? And then they're being chased around by Kane. And I do love when Kane just manifests his 2 henchmen. Suddenly, he's just got 2 goons with him.
I'm trying to remember the goons. I saw this last night.
They're it's like a big fat guy and they're just there. Oh, they die in the mine.
Oh,
they get killed by that weird red mist.
Oh, you're right.
But
what was that?
I don't know, man. Where was that in the fucking
Why did
song?
that disintegrate? People got disintegrated? Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird. But he's just one guy, and then all of a sudden he's like, that's right, we're gonna get this girl. I'm like, wait, where'd these 2 goons come from?
I think the goons came because he delivers an evil sermon.
Yes.
Once he's clued in on the prophecy or an interpretation of the prophecy.
they are jumping to conclusions off of a drawing.
Yes.
Which I love.
Oh, wait. Okay, before we jump into this.
Yeah.
Let's start with the fact that the grandmother, as soon as the apocalypses start happening, the grandmother gives the daughter JC. I can't take it seriously.
The chosen one.
The chosen one.
JC
reveals that she's the chosen one, gives her a magic ring.
Yeah.
And then a birthmark appears.
A
very cheap temporary tattue appears on her arm.
It looks so fucking fake, man. It looks terrible.
It's so bad. And she is told that she needs to... the grandmother doesn't even tell her that she needs to collect the rings.
No, that's the old man.
Yeah. Who's not her grandfather?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He owns Grant's Rare Books in town.
Okay.
Which I do love when you go to Grant's Rare Books, and it's a real building, but they've clearly just printed out a sign and stuck it up on the front entrance of it.
Yeah, the signage in this movie is top notch.
I
next level.
I don't think I have a budget for this thing, but
it couldn't have been more than
much.
Yeah,
I don't think I think Sci-Fi Channel has something like they don't spend more than like $2 million, I think, at most on any of these things.
Yeah, of course. Well, if they need to make any return, this movie cannot cost anything.
Right? Yeah, because you're just looking for ad time and DVD sales, right?
Yes.
Which, oh my God, I can't believe, like, looking through Amazon, the amount of people who bought DVD copies of this.
That's very strange.
Why would you? I gotta own this.
When was the last? Well, we can't look up when the last person was who purchased one of these DVDs. But do you think people still buy shit like this in the age of digital media?
I mean, because really, I don't. There are, though. I know the people out there who do that, and I don't.
I mean, I understand having DVDs of movies that you really, really
well,
love.
yeah, like I'm you're in my apartment where I have a collection of physical media, but most of those are like collected. I look at it like a vinyl collection or something, where it is like these are not only movies I really care about, but they are like
special editions,
Criterion collections,
a lot of like special features, like digitally restored, that kind of stuff.
Specific stuff where I'm going to get into the
there are certain movies I want to watch and not have to worry about internet buffing.
Exactly. Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is like I will say I did have to go to Amazon.com to find reviews for this one because I will say not much in the way of people talking about it on IMDb.
Weird.
Can you believe it?
I cannot believe it.
So
the prophecy has been foretold to the daughter by the grandmother, and it's so quick.
It's so quick because they come home from the rock climbing that we talked about.
The rock climbing on a cliff that's really not very high up.
No, and I love these actors trying to sell it as like, whoa.
I'm like, that, like, anytime it looked down on her climbing and you see the ground below, you're like, that's maybe 15 feet.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They come home.
They come home.
The father turns on the sink, and what's this? Blood coming out of the tap.
Oh.
Now,
I don't remember that part of the song.
No, I don't remember that. 12 gallons of blood. what I thought the movie, because I didn't know any of this when I went into it.
No.
So I expected just a disaster movie, but I thought, oh, I've got it. Okay, because when we talked about it, they see the protest sign for the
Yes.
Kane company or whatever. I'm going,
Yes.
oh, it's going to be an ecological thing.
You'd
the
think.
evil company is going to lead to these
You would
disasters.
think that's what they were
That would
setting
be a
up.
very simple movie.
Yes.
You know, and you're going like, because once again, I'm still functioning on, this is just going to be a sort of standard disaster film.
Yes,
I
yes.
was not ready for the weird biblical and Christmas song stuff.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, and the grandmother's like, oh no, blood in the sink. And then she looks at the paper and it's like, mass bird deaths. Oh no, listen to me. I have to tell you, you are the chosen one. And then she jams this ring on her finger and goes, it's gonna hurt.
And it's not coming off.
It's not coming off, and suddenly she has all these psychic visions.
Yes.
And this is when I was like, okay, movie.
This movie is very weird now.
And yeah, and then all of a sudden there's this glow on her arm forms
Yes.
this birthmark. And I was like, what? And then they run outside just so the grandmother can be impaled by ice.
And this death, John.
God damn.
Boy.
I mean, it is
I
not
laughed.
every day.
I watched it 3 times.
Oh, no, yeah, you have to back it up because it is not every day you see an old woman just get gutted by a shard of ice. And it is gory. I mean, Sci-Fi Channel loves digital gore.
Yes.
We know this.
Yes.
And oh my God, though, just this, 80-year-old woman just gets impaled by this thing. You just don't see it coming.
And I'm just like, this movie just took the gloves off, man. Like,
And what I love is it starts there, then it takes out the inflatable Santa.
yes. Yes.
And I will say, though, this is this guy's mother?
He does not seem to give a fuck at all.
No, he's pretty nonplussed by
And then
this.
after...
In fact, when asked what happened, he just goes, there was an accident.
So it cuts to the next scene.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did a month pass by? Because he seems so nonplussed by the fact that his mother was just killed in front of him.
He's just walking around town.
I'm just like, when is this? I'm like, no, it's later that day. I'm like,
Well, that's
wow.
the other thing, too. The 12 Days of Christmas, but
It's all in one day.
yeah, it all seems to be. This movie takes place in about 12 hours.
Why isn't it over the span of 12 days?
Yeah.
And it's a new apocalypse every day.
Well, so he's nonplussed. The daughter has just decided to go out driving around with her friend.
Yes, that makes sense.
Everybody who will also die in a pretty insane way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just going like, "Oh, what are you gonna do?" And he's,
4 twisters twisting.
well, we'll get to the twisters, right? And we do see Grant, the old man, with
Yes.
his crazy serial killer map of disasters with
Yes.
push pins and string.
We do love that.
Oh, you've got to love it, man.
Yeah,
I love
the
a
Charlie
good-
Day meme.
Yes. I love a good board with the thing, and he's like,
My God, it all makes sense.
And we haven't yet gotten to when they start ripping off Stephen King novels, but it's coming, man.
It's a coming.
It's coming. He's got the disaster map, and he's got this old Mayan text
Yes, this very real looking book.
that is totally like, oh, I remember doing this like in elementary school where you use like coffee to stain a book
Yep.
and age the pages.
Yep.
That's what I'm looking at here.
Boy, and the book cover looks so John, it looks so cheap. And there's
Yeah.
a puzzle
Yeah.
on the book cover, and it's like
This is-
this is
This is Party City Indiana Jones prop, you know?
yes, it's so cheap looking.
Yeah, it is, and he's just like, the prophecy, I told you, and he's going around, I mean, he's running around going like, I told everyone this would happen. And yeah, this guy is a decent enough actor that you're like, well, I believe you believe it, old man.
Yeah, but
She's the chosen one. But once again, the movie, the biggest thing, I would just every couple minutes go, why is this happening in Idaho?
great question.
It is never explained.
It's all
Also,
within this town.
That's the thing that got me too, is they keep talking about the fate of the world is at stake, but it seems like it's only this town that's being affected.
Yes. So the rest of the world is fine as far as we're led.
So then
to
it's
believe.
kind of like, just fucking let the town go.
Yeah,
Who
just
cares?
have everybody leave the town.
I'm sorry, all these years we've misread the Mayan prophecy. It just says this town in Idaho will
What was it
end.
called?
It's a Calvary, right?
Calvary,
Calvary,
yes.
Idaho.
Oh, yes, it's Calvary, Idaho. That's
Oh.
going to end.
All right, never mind. We don't need
well.
to look into it then. Who cares?
I
Who
mean,
could possibly
Idaho's
care?
pretty unpopulated, so
I mean, so much so that we'll talk about when, the first of a couple Stephen King ripoffs when this dome forms around the town.
Good Lord.
I was like, I'm going
so
like,
stupid.
man, I'm just like, is Stephen King just on the phone to his lawyer going like, get me the fucking, boop, 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 boop. Hey, wait a minute.
I know what you're doing.
Yeah. Quick, look these people up, see if anyone owns a copy of Under the Dome. Except it's that, but way dumber.
Yeah.
And then also the whole thing with the Christian, mass hysteria is totally The Mist, if you know that Stephen King story.
Yes.
Which is about this horrible mist but that is actually, that is a book and movie that are expressly about the battle of like religious fundamentalism and stuff.
Yes.
In the face of disaster.
Yes.
What I'm here to say is Stephen King is a better writer than the people who wrote the 12 Disasters
Weird.
of Christmas.
John,
I know.
that's a weird take.
You'd never know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is sort of the thing where this movie is, in that comparison, King, a lot of his books are about religious fundamentalism and things like that and how dangerous it can be. Here's a movie that's just kind of tossing it in for
It's so cavalier about this shit.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, that would probably be a reason why this guy would act like this.
Why not?
Yeah, it's just, it just shows, that's what lazy writing is, where you're just like, and we talk about this all the time, where it's like, you don't even understand the, like, things you're putting in this movie, the themes and stuff. No interest.
There's a lot. There's a lot to examine there, and this movie has no interest. In any of it.
I'm not going to say this could have been a good movie, but there are pieces of a good movie, and that movie is called The Mist.
Exactly.
That movie, watch that.
Or read the book. Yeah,
the book and the both of those. That is one of the best King adaptations. That movie.
I haven't actually read the book. I should go back and read.
Yeah, I think you'd like
the movie's great.
The movie is great. It is widely considered one of the best King movies.
Yeah. Oh, can I just highlight something?
Yeah, please do.
So when they're talking with Grant,
yes.
One of my favorite line exchanges happens, and this is an example of, so Grant the old man is, as we said, one of the better actors.
Yeah,
but
he's got to get back to the set of Battlestar Galactica.
But you are looking at, this is a moment where even a good actor cannot save what is given to him, because when they're talking about generally what's going on, the dad says, so is this some sort of 2012 thing?
Oh my God, yes.
To which Grant's, the old man's response is, this is the 2012 thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, that's a bad line.
Yeah.
That is such a bad line. And he looks so you can literally tell that the director said to emphasize the word is, because
this is the 2012 thing.
It's so bad. It's like, oh, okay, I guess if you want me to say it that way, I will.
It was in italics and bold in the script.
It was
the word is.
The word is was capitalized in the subtitles.
Yeah. This is the 2012 thing. By the way, I've got another movie for our Spooktober, one of our next Spooktobers.
Yeah.
Take a look at, because this is just in the, if you like this movie, you might also like.
Oh, boy.
Headless Horseman, Listman. And tell me, they've obviously combined two things here. Sleepy Hollow meets Ghost Rider in Headless Horseman. A dark hero is born.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a total action shell
on a steel horse he rides.
Indeed. I think that's literally just the poster from Ghost Rider.
I think so. That's so good, John.
That one will have. That's going to be terrible. So meanwhile, though, the daughter is just driving around with her
friend,
with her totally doomed friend.
Yes. Drinking eggnog out of a flask.
Yeah.
Is that what we're led to believe it? No, it's very clearly alcohol.
Yeah, that's the joke. There is what's in this flask? Eggnog. Oh, we're teenage girls.
We're 28-year-old teenage girls.
Oh yeah, I do want to look at this. Magna Aponowicz is what this actress's name is.
The friend?
That's the main girl.
Okay, JC.
Yeah, JC. She is, let's see, 20. She's 23 in this movie.
Okay. Well, that's reasonable.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but still. But anyway, they're driving, and suddenly she just stops in the middle of this Christmas tree farm.
Yes.
Because she's having visions.
She basically lures her friend to her death.
Yeah. Well, because all of a sudden these twisters form up, and I'm like, ooh, back to Christmas Twister.
Yeah.
It's nice to see Christmas Twister get other work.
Yeah, it's nice to see the Christmas Twister make an appearance, you know?
But, oh my God, this is another pretty great death, just when they're running and the friend just the car gets thrown and squishes her.
Yes.
And there is like a little blood. Like, oh, she popped.
God, the blood effects are so bad.
Oh, it's so great, man.
Oh man,
I
yeah,
love it.
this sequence is very funny as well.
Yeah, and this is about the time also apparently where Grant is talking about the 12 days of Christmas. They talked about they knew their race would run out, the Mayans. They knew their culture would would burn away or whatever, the Mayans, right?
Right.
But they created a song and a tune so catchy they knew it would stay around. Like I'm going like, oh my God, this movie is so dumb.
This is it might be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in a movie. Like,
but it's not a Christmas carol. It's a warning of disaster.
yes.
It's like, really? Well, the meaning of that has been lost.
Yeah.
Only the 5 golden rings can stop it, but only if they're worn by the chosen one.
Yes.
And oh my God, the amount of X-Men poses she does in this movie with her hand.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
This movie is just, you talk about just a mix of a bunch of shit.
Yes.
Because, meanwhile, is the mother a doctor? Because there's a scene where the sheriff calls her and goes, hey, there's been a car accident. Can you just go take a look at this guy?
She might be.
I don't know, but she
They
runs out there
never
with
explain that.
She runs out there with some kind of emergency medical kit just because there's a guy who's been in a car crash on the edge of town.
Yeah. The mother subplot is so weird.
It's really weird.
Because the mayor kidnaps her?
Yeah, that's Jude.
Jude, okay.
Yeah, Aaron Airley is that guy's name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is another guy, though, who's in a bunch of stuff, this actor.
Yes.
He also looked, once again, like a lot of people, I'm like, oh, I think I've seen this guy in some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is, yeah, you have. Mm-hmm. He's on a million TV shows. He's apparently a recurring character. Oh, I think he's the father of the main guy in 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay.
Just based on his characters, he's literally called Mr. Grey. So I think he's, I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, anyway.
Douglas Gray.
Oh, he's Joseph Gordon-Levitt's doctor in the movie 50-50, which I like a lot.
Okay.
I mean, so he's like a working character actor.
Yeah.
Boy,
he does not have much to go off of in this movie.
No, he's one of these guys who will be in, like, Fantastic Four, and then this, so it's like tiny little part in a big budget movie.
Right.
He's also in something called Storm Cell, which looks a lot like this.
Right. Okay. I'm starting to remember the mother going out and checking on the car accident.
Well, because that is where they are when the dome forms.
Yes. So
now here's the thing.
Why is the son with her? Why is the son? So the son
can't leave him home alone.
Can't leave him home alone, and he gets out of the car and looks at the dead person in the car, which is great. This kid would be traumatized.
Here's the thing that got me about the dome. Like, under the dome, it's a physical barrier, right?
Yes.
So when, like, cars or planes hit it, they just explode.
Yes.
Here, it's a force field that the vehicles can pass through, but then they freeze and shatter.
Yes, immediately.
Which is... I kept wondering... What's making them shatter? I understand things are freezing, but nothing is impacting them that would cause them to shatter.
No.
But everything that freezes solid in this movie just shatters immediately.
Shatters,
yeah.
Yes. I don't know, John. It's magic.
It's what it is a plug-in for their After Effects program.
Yes, exactly.
Because it always shatters the same way.
Exact same
like,
way. Yeah.
It would...
They bought a variety pack for After Effects.
That is the thing about these Sci-Fi Channel movies where I'm going like, I don't know, like one YouTube tutorial I could put about the same quality.
Probably.
Because I have a very loose familiarity with After Effects.
Yes.
And most of this are pre-programmed animations.
Yes.
Because you will notice everybody dies like the same way.
Yes. Yeah.
There's one disintegration, there's one shattering, there's one fire effect,
Yeah. There's one impale.
Oh, that impaling
Yeah,
though!
impaling.
What an impaling!
Yeah.
There's one, oh my god, when a guy pops like a balloon.
Yes.
Yeah. So this dome forms. What are these helicopters that are trying to get in there?
They are delivering supplies.
Yeah, which I love the idea that we never really we just allude to the outside world, but we never get, because this movie doesn't have the money to show, like, cut to the Pentagon and they're going, what's happening in Idaho?
Or cut to the Eiffel Tower being bombarded by ice spikes.
Well, that's the thing. The movie never sells me on the global cataclysm.
Yes.
Because it's not a Roland Emmerich movie. No. Did I tell you I watched Moonfall the other week?
I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, because that was pretty fucking dumb.
Yep.
But it had a lot of money behind it.
Sure.
And that's sort of the thing where...
do Roland Emmerich movies still make money?
That one bombed horribly.
Okay.
And I think that might be the end of it
Might be the end of it.
Yeah, because I think it is kind of like, I just don't know.
What if he just makes a very sensitive drama?
He's tried. And
has he?
Yeah. He made the movie about the Stonewall riots.
Oh, no.
And it was widely panned.
John.
Oh, yeah.
John,
people said
that's
that was...
not...
He also made a Shakespeare biopic that nobody saw.
I have to watch this.
He made the biopic that posits Shakespeare didn't really write the plays.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Roland Emmerich.
Anonymous. Yeah, he made that. Yeah.
Well, I still need to watch it, but fuck you.
That's the thing. Between those disaster movies, he does try to make dramas, but they're terrible.
Oh, God.
So, anyway.
Anyways,
yeah.
okay. Well, that's good to know.
So those the helicopters freeze and crash,
yes.
which looks terrible.
Well, because the wife and son know that anything going through the barrier will freeze and shatter because they see a car drive through.
Right, yes.
So the son does witness somebody shatter, like freeze and shatter in front of him.
Then you get, though... so the dome forms, but then the ground starts freezing.
That was unclear too, because so that freezing starts to travel via road.
Oh yeah, because we have the mother and son in a truck driving away from the.
Or was it the father and son?
Maybe it was the
father and daughter.
Maybe it was the father. But anyway, who could care?
Who gives a fuck?
It's just I just remember the image of the truck and the road, the whole ground freezing behind them.
Yes,
because that's what kills the brother of Cain. Is when they get to the police station.
And the old man.
And the old man. Yeah, they're going to freeze when the ground freezes.
Yes.
But then this is also the first time that JC pushes back. And all I could think of was, let it go, let it go. When she's pushing back the ice storm coming at them.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, my God.
The perfect girl is gone, John.
Yeah. And it did just make me go, I'm going to turn this off and watch Frozen.
Yeah.
So much better.
So much better.
Such a better ice disaster movie.
I'd like to think so.
Oh my God. I'll take either Frozen over this.
Yes.
The second one's not as good, but Jesus Christ, it's
by comparison.
Oh my God.
Well, JC.
Yeah. There's a character named JC in this who's a Christ. But that also it's a total like Jean Grey like.
Yes.
Oh, that is the way my whole thing about Frozen is. I love it because it's secretly an X-Men movie.
Yes.
Or not so secretly as I think. That is a total movie about a person with mutant abilities.
Yep. I wish that in The Matrix they named Neo Jesus. You know, like I'm glad this movie had the courage to just be
go,
super on
those
the nose.
fucking cowards, the Wachowskis. Come on, ladies, get on it.
Get on it.
Jesus, yeah. Oh, they rearranged the letters in one. Jesus, boy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Too subtle.
Boy, I remember that in middle school. Somebody's going, if you rearrange Neo, it spells one. And that is legitimately one of my favorite movies.
Well,
but,
yeah, me too.
But it is sort of that thing where it's like, yeah, that was pretty on the nose, but now it seems incredibly subtle compared to this.
Yes.
JC. They call me JC. If Keanu was like, they just call me Christ.
I don't know why.
My hacker handle is Messiah. So let's see. Yeah, so they guys are shattered, and this is where the crowd inside the. Oh, I do like that they're when they see her stop the ice. When they get back in the sheriff's station, they're like, "You're doing this.
Yes,
you girl. You're
yes.
responsible.
Yes.
String her up."
She's channeling and I wrote this down.
Oh my God,
geomantic energy.
Oh, for the love of God, I'm so glad you wrote that down because that is so dumb.
So
geomantic energy.
That's the force behind this apocalypse.
There's some
the Aztecs discovered, I guess.
That is total comic book nonsense.
It sure
I love
is.
It.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, man. Oh God, that's stupid. But yeah, all of a sudden there's this like, get her. This is before they go to we have to sacrifice her because of the image. They just want to kill her out of blame initially.
Yes, they're like, you controlled it.
Yeah.
You're responsible for it.
You took my brother's legs and forced me to leave him to die.
I think I'm still out here.
I did want that where the guy's like, actually, I'm alive. It just really hurts.
It's the Simpsons joke, essentially.
I'm still here.
Or it's the old man in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
The old man of Monty Python, also one of the best.
I'm not dead yet.
One of the best jokes in Austin Powers.
Yes.
When he sends Will Ferrell into the fire. Oh, I'm still alive. I'm just badly burned. I love that. Oh, please help me. Hey, what are you doing with that gun? And then I'm just here, but that joke, and then you hear the gunshot, and he just goes, "You shot me! You shot me right in the arm!"
That basically is what happens to the brother.
Yeah, it is. Oh God, I love that. Yeah, that first Austin Powers. Austin Powers is one of those movies that like captured culture so much it became annoying. But if you go back, it is really fucking funny.
Yes, it's basically the Napoleon Dynamite of its time.
Yeah, where it is like, oh yeah, it became too ubiquitous.
Yes,
but it's same thing. I watched. Speaking of Christmas movies, I watched Nightmare Before Christmas the other night, and that's another one that the culture so grabbed and all the Hot Topic stuff. But if you go back, I'm like, Jesus, it's a great, really good movie.
It is a really good movie. Yeah,
but it's just the culture that sprung up around it is annoying as hell.
Yeah.
And that's just like, that's too bad because it's like, and those songs, man,
so good.
Every song in that movie is a banger, man. All right, so let's see.
I'm trying to remember where in the plot we are because the plot is so random. I say plot.
Oh, well, so they go to get her, and the only reason that they're able to escape is in the chaos. The sheriff gets knocked over and hits his head and dies.
Right. So yeah, Kane just pushes him over like
he trips over like a
backpack,
like a crate or something. Like that.
Yeah, and then dies.
Well, and I do like that they're like, get her, and then the sheriff, they're like, oh no, and so that gives them enough time to get the girl out of there. But I do love, there is a scene where he's like, oh no, he's okay, and then they turn him over and blood is pouring out of his ears, and they're like, oh shit.
And this is the starting point of Kane's evil sermon where he's like, I'm sorry that the mayor or the sheriff died.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry that all of this is happening, blah blah blah. And he's trying to convert these people into
once again, Marcia Gay Harden does this way better in The Mist.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, it is kind of, I'm like, okay. So, but I am going like, as a huge Stephen King fan, I'm like, Dome? Supernatural events leading to a crazy Christian opera? Dude, it's like, seriously, get on the phone, King.
Where's the evil clown apocalypse?
That's what, at the end of the, you know what? When they got to the final thing, I was so hoping the devil was going to show up.
Yes!
Weren't you also when they got up there? And I'm like,
100%
oh, please tell me she has to use the rings to like blow up the devil.
Or the devil has infected Kane. You know what I mean? It has corrupted Kane.
Well, there is the distinct moment where he gets injured and you think he might be dead. If he got up and had been taken over, that would have been something.
That was confusing because I thought he died.
No, he just gets hit with a backpack full of something, right?
He does, and then the main characters just leave him. They don't like. I was just like, why didn't they kill him? But moral scruples aside, they could have at least bound him. You know, like
because they don't. They don't do something like that.
They don't do anything, and then he gets back up and continues to be a problem.
One of the things I love movies like this where there's all these massive supernatural forces at play, and this guy is just threatening people with a revolver.
Yes.
But this movie would have been so much more interesting if he got dark powers or something.
Yeah, he was the foil to the chosen one.
Wouldn't that be something? Because that's generally how. I mean, where's your Agent Smith, right?
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing where you need the opposing force. Instead, it's just an asshole Bible thumper with a gun.
Yes, that's it.
Who will die before we even get into the final sequence.
Yep.
Anyway, so they while he's giving that crazy sermon, the father and daughter are going to the old mine.
Mm-hmm.
That must be where the next ring is. Because what is it? They're using her weird, as you said, IBS
geocaching powers.
Yeah, because every time she gets they start in the right direction, she grabs her stomach and goes, oh,
I got a toozy.
Come on, huge missed opportunity to do like a gurgling stomach noise. Oh, it's over there. And also, don't look.
I need to go around this corner for maybe a couple minutes.
Oh, my bowels. It's just, it is. I'm like, oh, what a terrible choice.
Yes,
that is.
So this is the only ring that is in a location that's even vaguely notable, which is interesting.
Yeah. No, because they found a ring earlier, and it literally was they walked up to a tree, and it was just buried there.
Yes. And every other ring after this point will just it'll be in loose rubble, in a log somewhere.
With their hands, they're just either moving rocks or clearing a little bit of dirt, and there it is.
Yes.
One ring to rule them
I
all.
was also thinking about that as well.
Well, because it is sort of like any movie about people trying to find magic rings is like, oh, there's a pretty famous.
Now, what if Cain was actually, because eventually he kidnaps her and he's like, we need to gather the rings so we can sacrifice her.
Yeah.
But what if
that also makes no sense?
No, it doesn't. What if bringing all the rings together gives him power? Let's just turn him into Sauron.
Turn him into Sauron.
That would have been more interesting.
I mean, if you once again, you're already making a way about people questing for rings.
Yes.
And you're already ripping off Stephen King. Just go at Tolkien while you're at it, man.
Wouldn't it have been interesting?
Also, that's so ubiquitous. Because that's also Thanos. That's that's a classic supervillain thing of. Or any Indiana Jones villain is trying to get their hands on that.
What if the rings were hand-me-downs for different families who are important parts of this town?
I've got to become what Brendan Jones is on Meet the Monsters and say to you, listeners, stop trying to make this movie better. There's a running problem on that show is me going, you know what they could have done? And he goes, stop it. Stop trying to fix this stupid movie. But you're right. There are any number of things. But that's the thing about the script. They do no work.
No.
For all the mythology they try to build in about the Mayans and this song, then when it comes to the rings, it's just like, I don't know, it's over there.
Yeah, it's in that potted plant.
Yeah. I also was thinking about once they got the compass thing out of the book, I'm like, oh, now this is Rise
Uncharted?
of Skywalker. Uncharted, which is Rise of Skywalker is ripping off.
Yes.
But it is sort of that thing about this thing turns to this.
Yeah, the weird compass. It's like, this doesn't mean anything. I don't know what we're...
Well, because they're as you're saying, they're using the girl's stomach issues and a compass?
Yes, and they're triangulating by people standing in spots.
Yeah.
And that's how they find where the rings are. It's fair. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Might you say they are the rings of power?
You could say that. I won't, but you could.
Yeah, one could if they wanted to. Yeah, it is just going I mean, most of the time when we watch these movies, it is oh, right. It is genre stuff is hard to do, and when you see it done well, it's an accomplishment.
Yes. You don't realize how hard it is until you see a bad version.
No, because you see stuff like this, and you're going I know what tropes you're playing on.
Yes.
But you're not doing anything to dig into them.
You really need to. You need to flesh out the
magic rings,
the lore and the history, and
you and I have seen a billion movies about or books or things about chosen ones and magical items. It's so common.
Yes.
I was just watching Willow the other day because there's the new Willow show, and it's that same shit in there, man. And that literally is a girl with a birthmark who's the princess that will destroy the evil queen.
Yep.
But I'm going but that movie's fun.
Yes. Just think about it for more than 5 minutes.
Anything. And also, as we're talking about, though, we can't stress how boring these actors are.
They're so boring.
I mean, this guy, there's something about Ed Quinn's voice. I don't know what it is, but he's just got sort of just kind of bland hero guy voice in this movie,
Yes.
We have to go over there.
He's unable to modulate his voice in any because all of his lines are delivered in the exact flat way, it kind of lulls you into a hypnotic sleep.
That's what I mean. It's just and that's another thing I'm going oh well, that probably hurt the career.
In terms
of because I'm once again looking at his career. He did do 19 episodes of Two Broke Girls on CBS.
Oh, shit.
Hey,
all right.
Okay, wait a minute. Here's another movie we have to do, Listman, that he's in. And it is called Navy SEALs versus Zombies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Navy SEALs versus zombies.
You know exactly what you're getting with this
Oh
movie.
my
There is
God.
no subtlety
Los
here.
Angeles Lakers legend Rick Fox plays the vice president.
God damn, John, we need to watch
It
this
is
movie.
Ed Quinn and action show favorite Michael Dudikoff.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they are the leaders of the Navy SEAL team who are fighting zombies.
Hell yeah. No, we definitely need to watch
That's
it.
an action show movie and
That's
a half.
that
Right
is
there.
coming up. I don't know where, but that movie. Look forward to that.
We have found two movies that are going to once again replace things that are
John,
scheduled.
we don't even need to research this shit. They just pop up. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Every movie we do introduces us to 8 other movies we need to do. Is
Yes.
pretty much what it is.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say this guy is he's also in Starship Troopers 2.
Oh, famously good sequel to Starship
Oh my
Troopers.
god, Starship Troopers is so good.
I know.
The original movie, I love.
And then there's a million sequels.
There's a million straight-to-video sequels.
They're all
and
terrible.
That are because they number one, they don't have the money by any stretch of the imagination.
But they also don't understand the tone. We
Well,
talked a
it's
lot
the
about
same
this
thing with
tone.
the RoboCop
Exactly.
or the Total Recall. Any of the Verhoeven stuff never
Yes.
understands.
Nobody gets it when they try to
thing-
recapture
The
that.
Verhoeven sci-fi movies are satires
Yes.
at their core.
Yes.
That also, because he's a good filmer, have kick-ass action
Yes.
sequences. in
Yes.
them.
It does both.
Yeah, he is a very unique.
And everybody always forgets about the satire or don't understand the satire.
Well, sometimes they try to do the satire, but you're like, you're not actually making a point, though.
yeah.
Verhoeven's smart about this stuff.
Yeah, you need an opinion on something.
Verhoeven was the guy making smart movies disguised as dumb action movies.
Exactly. Yes.
That's always been one of the things I've respected about him. All right.
Yeah.
And he definitely had nothing to do with this movie.
Nope.
So
Where are we? Where are
we're
we
in the
plot?
mine. This is where
Oh.
the red mist is going to and this is where I'm like, what the fuck kind of lost reject is this thing?
I was thinking, what if it was like a colony of fire ants or something?
Yeah, which Indiana Jones does.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was imagining.
That would have been cool, but also more complicated to animate than
Yes,
Red
than
Mist.
just vague red mist. That's only at ankle height, so they don't ever have to show it, which
Here's
is great.
the thing that gets me. It's only at ankle height, yet somehow if it hits your ankles, your whole body disintegrates.
Yes.
I don't follow.
Well, the only reason they did that is so that they can have a couple of shots looking down at the ground, but most of the shots are from the waist up.
the other thing-
so they don't have to animate it
it's
in every
true.
shot.
The other thing that got me about the Red Mist is it seems to be sentient because it will do things like it doesn't just fill the ground like
No.
fog. It will snake around, and there's a scene where it comes between Joseph and Kane and separates
and doesn't like fill out.
No, it just creates like a gap,
like a
between
river almost.
Yeah. It's like it's like Star Wars where like the lava opens up between people dueling.
Yes, exactly.
But you're going like, so I don't follow. Number one, we don't know. We never get an explanation as to what the red mist is.
Nobody mentions it.
We've entered the part of the movie where the disasters are becoming random magic shit.
Yes. Yeah, there's no longer a correlation between 12 Days of Christmas and what disasters are actually
Until there
happening.
will be, obviously, when we get to the
12 drummers drumming.
yeah.
Yeah, which is just 12 volcanoes erupting simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
You know those volcanic mountains
But
in
this
Idaho.
is just generic magic mist.
Yes.
Who could care? So it
Yes.
takes out both of his henchmen.
It does.
And this is a super boring fist fight between these two guys.
Sure. First of several.
And he ends up getting the girl. Kane gets the girl.
Yes.
But he doesn't get the ring. They pull an old switcheroo with him on the ring.
Yeah.
So then we've got to get our stupid Die Hard ripoff scene where Ed Quinn's on the radio going like, "Oh, you've got my daughter, but I've got the ring."
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We do have to do that.
Or I was doing it's very Shatner and Wrath of Khan on the
That's
communicator.
true. Yeah. Yes.
Tell me, Khan.
Yeah. What if it was like it's like Wrath of Khan, but the performance is flat.
I
and
will
boring.
say we saw a terrible movie with him, but this movie a full letter grade better if Shatner was in it. Right?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Well, because there's nobody with that energy, which is what this movie needs.
Yeah.
Everybody is so low key. You do need a guy. One of the complaints we had about Devil's Revenge was there was not enough Shatner because that guy was always going, "Listen to me, it's the devil." You know.
Yeah, and he delivers very long, impassioned speeches.
That's the thing. People rag on Shatner's acting, but it's like, dude, he always could inject energy
And he does it in movies that are terrible.
That's the thing. It was always like, all of a sudden you're going like, there's some gravitas in Kingdom of the Spiders.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
This
All of a sudden.
town. Like, that's what, it's something Bruce Campbell does too. Like, great B-movie actors know how to do that. Where it's like, listen to me.
Yeah.
But there's no one in this, like we're saying, everybody's kind of nonplussed about these apocalyptic events.
Yes.
So it's, oh God. So meanwhile, at the same time, yes, the mayor, Jude, has kidnapped the son, because the son and the mother. He's tied them up because he's like, I'm sorry, he does have to kill her.
Yeah.
And he's also waving around this shotgun like it's made of plastic.
Well, because it is.
Yeah. But I'm just going
the way
like,
he's holding it, I'm like, come on, just hold it the correct way.
even a sawed-off shotgun
Would be heavy.
is very heavy.
It'd be heavy.
Especially if it's got shells in it, too.
I'm not a gun expert. I have fired a shotgun before.
Yeah.
And that's not how you hold it.
No, and he's just like, you get back. Like,
He's just waving it around
waving
like
it around.
it's a child's toy.
he's waving it around. I'm going like, if you want to do that, just give him a little revolver or
Yes.
something. Like, it's so, it is kind of random that he has the shotgun.
Yes,
even.
it's just lying around.
Yeah. And I mean, once again, this fucking Party City prop.
Yes. Yeah.
This came off of somebody's Jack Sparrow costume.
Yes, 100%.
My God, I just was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And they do add in, because it made me laugh even more, whenever he set it down, they would put in like a thunk sound that would be like a metal gun hitting a table, but I'm like,
No.
that should just go click.
Yeah, it's just a plastic clink.
Yeah. He never does anything with it. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it
matter.
never goes off. That gun never is fired.
They are unfamiliar with Chekhov, apparently, in this movie.
Chekhov is rolling in his grave right now.
Ensign Pavel Chekhov of the USS Enterprise. No.
Exactly.
One of my all-time favorite comedy sketches is SCTV. Ensign Chekhov from Star Trek does Chekhov. It's still one of the single greatest. It's a great sketch, but even that is just one of the greatest concepts for a
Yes,
sketch.
it's very funny.
Chekhov does Chekhov.
Yeah.
So we've got to. There's this huge the Kane.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is an okay actor, but he also gets all because he gets this whole monologue about, look, everybody's got to die sooner or later.
Yeah.
You listen to me about you get to die for something.
Yeah.
And then he gets another monologue later about like, I know you can't let her die because she's your daughter. That's why I have to be the one to kill her.
He's like, I mean, I wouldn't be able to kill my own child.
Yeah.
So I understand that you're not going to be able to. Like, the logic is, there is logic there. You know what I mean? It's weird logic.
But the thing is,
But there is logic.
And once again, they're basing this all off of a Mayan drawing.
Yes.
Of a girl surrounded by like fire or something like
Yes, but the girl has the tattoo, or the birthmark.
that. Yeah. Excuse me, the Sharpie drawing.
The Sharpie drawn birthmark, yes.
But yeah, that is sort of thing where I'm going like, because that has to be the debate in the movie is this indicating she's stopping this, or is this indicating she's bringing it about?
Yes.
Which is, once again, all pretty generic shit in like
Yes.
a Chosen One story. Are you the savior, the destroyer? You know, I mean, shit, this is even like, this is Hellboy, is
Yes,
that?
yeah.
Go watch Hellboy, everybody.
What a
It's
great,
good.
both of those movies.
The Guillermo del Toro Hellboys are so good, man.
Yeah.
So, legitimately some of my favorite comic
good.
book movies.
Yeah.
I love those movies. So yeah, but there's that. I mean, like we're dealing in very well trodden material. So
yes. Which again, not always the worst
not
thing
a
in the
bad
world.
thing, but you can't have the attitude of like this. The writers are clearly going like, hey, you know how.
You get it. You've seen this before.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah, whatever.
There is this made me think of a thing that's out now, and I'll go ahead and recommend a comic book people should read called The Ones that's out right now, which is positing if there's all these stories about chosen ones, what if they all are in the same world?
Ooh,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
there's like 40 chosen ones.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And
For
they're
various
all, for various
apocalypses.
things. Yeah, and they all get together.
Oh,
and
that's
sort of
interesting.
the-
I
it's
like that.
It's Brian Michael Bendis' new book at Dark Horse, and I
Cool.
think that's a very fun idea.
Yeah.
Of like, yeah. And he's of course every one of them is like there's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer, there's a Golden Child, there's a Ong from is it Ong?
Aang.
Aang from
The Ong is the pronunciation in the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
hence my confusion.
Yes.
But yeah, there's sort of like, you know, they're all references to things. There's
Cool.
a Neo, there's a thing.
Whoa! I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's a very clever idea for a comic.
Cool.
So anyway, let's just talk about how the mayor dies, because once we get random electrical surges now just coming out of nowhere.
Was it random electrical surges or was the house sentient?
Well, we get random electrical surges throughout the town.
Yes.
What doesn't make sense is why it somehow brings this string of Christmas lights to life. And I've got to say, just in terms of this being a Christmas movie,
yes,
this is my favorite death.
Because
this is a Christmas death.
Yes, that is true. It really does. I think this is the only other moment in the movie that rivals the mother being impaled.
Every time, like, when the girl got squished by the car, I'm going, like, good, but no old lady getting impaled by ice.
Yes.
This is the first one I'm going, like, ooh, maybe a run for its money.
Yeah.
Because, these electrical surges go through the lines of the, once again, your pre-programmed animation of electrical current on After Effects. And for some reason, it turns the string of Christmas lights into, like, whips.
Sentient tentacles?
Yeah, they're like snakes or something. And they grab the mayor and wrap him up and then charge him up to the point that he bursts into red goo.
Yes. You know, now that you say it, I think you're right. I think this is the best death in the movie.
Well, I love that it's with a Christmas implement.
Yes.
And also, because I thought, oh my God, I thought just them electrocuting him was silly. But then when he blew up into goo, I was like, oh my God, even better.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was just going to fry him.
Yeah, of course. That is the assumption everyone would make.
But then the sentient thing that's great is after he bursts, they go back to still wiggling and going like, who's next?
Yeah, I was like, is the house going to lift up and have feet like the Baba Yaga or something?
Oh my God, that would have, once again, you talk about things that would have made this movie way better. That I would have fucking loved.
Yes.
If they're now being chased by this house.
I just want a movie where Christmas ornaments and decorations become sentient and start killing people.
That must exist.
It must, right?
If anyone knows what that is, send it to us and we will watch that movie.
Yeah, next December.
I love. I do think I know what next year's Christmas movie is, and it will be a little bit different, but and it may have Dolph Lundgren in it.
Okay. Of course.
Well, because I don't. I mean, we have some of these things planned out. We will be doing Dolph December next year.
Yeah, because there's not as many Christmas like action movies per se.
And we wanted to do a Dolph month, and there is a Dolph Christmas movie.
Yes, so that'll be our
that worked out.
Great,
but that's more of an alien invasion film.
Okay,
yeah, a little alien invasion for Christmas.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a little tease for next year. Let's see.
So he got popped.
He got popped. For some reason, because the CEO is still up. We didn't talk about the fact that they try to do this exchange where it's like, I've got your daughter, I've got the magic ring.
Yes.
And but it's like, now, Dad, and he pulls this ripcord and it looked like a backpack. Couldn't follow what happened.
Yeah, I'm assuming a backpack full of bricks, maybe.
Something like that.
They don't explain it.
Falls on Kane, and yeah, I too was
and then
like,
it just cuts away.
Is he dead?
Nope.
But now the family is talking over the walkie-talkie, but he's also got a walkie-talkie cane, so his head is bleeding. He's like, oh man, but then he's like, hey, wait a minute, they're all going to that rock face.
Yeah.
Now I know where to go.
Yes. And if
I'm
you're
like,
wondering, this
this
seems
guy?
very convoluted.
Yeah.
You're right.
But I am going like, oh, still with this guy?
Like, why not tie him up at the very least?
I don't know. But it's just like, come on, movie, haven't we dealt with this threat? No, because he's going to, once again, they're running through the forest to get to this. Because due to some part of the prophecy of the book, or I don't know. Once again, you're starting to tell how little attention we paid to the third act of this movie.
Yes, yeah.
But they know they need to get to the top of that cliff that they climbed earlier in the movie.
Yes,
and then do a thing.
And do a thing.
And put the rings on or whatever.
Yes, and it's the most nondescript location you can possibly think of.
Yeah.
Which is really a really great thing to have as the climax of your film.
Similar to what friend of the show Brendan Jones was saying on Devil's Revenge, it's like a park somewhere.
Yeah.
It's a classic, I don't know. There's like a kind of big rock in a park.
Boy, it really does emphasize why a budget is needed for these kinds of movies, because sets, action set pieces are so important.
No, it's the thing when people talk about bad CGI, and I'm like, it's not. I mean, the CGI is bad.
It is,
but
yes.
it is things like that where you're going like, oh my God, you realize how much scope is lost when it's just a rock somewhere.
Just like a kind of big rock in a forest somewhere.
Yeah,
this
is far from anything Tom Cruise is scaling in a Mission Impossible movie.
Right, exactly. Or like some kind of like temple or something. Like,
could you imagine they climbed to Mount Doom in Lord of the Rings and it looks like this?
Mount Doom is really just kind of a boulder.
Yeah, it's like, look, Sam, it's just over there.
Oh, wow. It's like maybe a mile away from our home.
Yeah, this is totally doable.
We could do this in an afternoon.
Impossible journey, my ass.
We're still going to have the Eagles fly us home.
Yeah, well, that's just, we'll be a little winded. They were lightly winded by the end of their journey.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's this scene where they stop in the woods, and the father goes, "You have to do this. Listen to me." And I'm going like, "Oh, he's going to somehow sacrifice himself."
You'd think.
But instead, he's just randomly shot from behind through the shoulder, which never bothers him, by the way.
Nope, he's totally fine.
In fact, it leads to one of my favorite lines in the movie. When his son asks what happened, he goes, "I got shot, buddy."
Does he dress his wound? No.
No. And in fact, they just drive home at the end of the movie. He doesn't even go to a hospital.
It just stops bleeding.
And it's not like, I mean, we have talked about movies always downplay how devastating a shoulder wound is.
Yes.
Which in reality, folks, you probably will die.
Yeah.
The vast majority of people shot in the shoulder die.
It's not very far from your heart.
That is, I've seen doctors talk about this. In movies, it's always like, whatever, they got me in the shoulder. It's like, that's a devastating and most likely life-ending wound in reality.
I would at least accept if the daughter used the magic rings to heal him.
Oh, yeah. Actually, how did they not do that?
I don't know.
More effects, I guess.
Yes. It's like, sorry, all of our budget went into that house electrocution. We can't.
We really slaved over that guy getting popped by the Christmas lights.
Yes. That was 50% of our budget.
So anyway, he gets shot, and then he's just like, "Oh," and then he's got to fight this guy again now.
So he gets shot.
Yeah.
And then the villain's like, "I'm just gonna leave you here."
Yeah.
And then the dad uses that opportunity to fight this guy. I'm like, nobody just shoots anybody. He shoots him in the shoulder from a distance, but he still has bullets in his gun.
Yeah.
So he could just finish the job.
No, because he's not a murderer. He's just going to sacrifice this girl. So,
right.
Right,
exactly.
That has to be done. That would be murder if you killed this guy. Right?
Okay. That makes sense.
I guess.
There are now no problems with this movie.
Never mind.
We've explained everything.
This all adds up.
Yeah, it's
true. But they fight, and he ends up getting pushed onto one of these exploding steam vents.
Oh, right. We forgot to mention. There's exploding steam vents.
Yeah, because the 12 volcanoes are erupting. Right?
So, okay.
Or they're starting to erupt. Which means they're
in a caldera. They're in a volcano's caldera.
I guess in Idaho, yeah. in this forest park in Idaho.
Boy, they could have obviously they're not actually in Idaho, but I'm thinking like Crater Lake as being like a very visually cinematic, interesting.
They can't fucking afford that.
I know. But it's just like...
They don't even have cameras expensive enough to capture Crater Lake.
And this is 2012, so there's no drone footage or anything.
Now they probably would get some drone footage of a place like Crater Lake.
At least like a mountain or something. Yeah. So that they could show it.
Because all of a sudden, epic shots of locations are very achievable in today's drone world.
So we're led to believe that this town is built on top of a volcano.
It has to be, right?
Yeah.
Or
at least near a volcano.
And the Mayans knew about it. So once again, the Mayans knowing about things in Idaho really gets me. It just doesn't make any sense.
They just needed to explain something.
Yeah.
There needs to be some throwaway line or something.
Even if it was Texas or Florida, I would give it that still doesn't make a ton of sense.
No.
But it's slightly closer to where the Mayans were.
It's at least closer to being sensical.
Yeah,
or sensible.
It's also unfortunate that I have recently seen Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which plays a lot into Mayan culture and stuff like that.
Well, there you go.
And Aztec, Yucatan, all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
That movie's great.
Yeah.
but also costs like $250 million.
Would you say it's better than this movie?
I think it just edges it out.
Okay.
It just edges it out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In terms of its effects and stuff like that.
And in fact, I think that I saw that on the movie poster.
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever, slightly better than 12 Disasters of Christmas.
Yeah, I think that was a Rolling Stone quote.
I believe so, yeah,
that was in their review.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, and so he gets on one of these things, and it disintegrates him.
Yep.
He just dissolves
Yep.
with the same. It doesn't matter if it's the steam vent or the red mist. You go out the same way.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's the same CG animation, and the dad does not seem bothered by seeing. Again, nobody is bothered by seeing death in front of them.
No.
So it's like, well,
Nor the existence of supernatural events.
Nope, nobody's freaking out about that.
If I knew there was a book that absolutely correctly posited things and magic events were occurring and then a girl stopped them with magic rings, that would fundamentally shift my understanding of the world.
Yes.
And I would literally never be the same again.
Yes, I would yeah, exactly.
But this guy, at the end of this movie, they're just like, whatever, Merry Christmas, everybody.
What?
The fuck?
That's true. That's you would suddenly realize there is a religious truth, like fundamental religious truth to the world.
There is not even a moment when anybody goes, magic rings, that's insane.
Nope.
Everybody's just, it's literally, that's definitely happening. The
Yes.
debate is, what are we going to do about it?
Yes.
But 100% everybody's on board with, oh yeah, 100%. That's
Well,
what's
we've
going
all
on.
heard the song, John.
We've all heard that song. And we all vaguely know about the Mayan calendar.
Exactly. So
it's
if we put two and two
I
together.
remember that from like a freshman world history class.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's and being real worried about it.
Oh
No,
my God, yeah.
Remember, there was some legitimate worry from like the same people as the Y2K.
Yes,
people,
I was just about to say Y2K is the same fucking thing.
which is also dumb, but once again, a little bit more plausible.
Yes.
But still dumb, as people talk about these powerful machines.
computers can figure out how to
Yeah.
change their date.
What? Yeah, that was always one of those things where even as a kid when Y2K was happening, it was like...
Yeah, I was never worried about Y2K.
The computer can't understand the difference between... Why would the computer think it's 1900 and then go, oh, wait, I don't exist? I'm like, that seems like a pretty dumb computer.
Yeah.
Because that was the fear of that, right? Was that
Yes.
it was going to go from 99 to 00, and the computer was going to go, oh, it must be 1900,
Because
and
computers
aren't a thing.
Yeah, because computers only keep track of the last two digits of a date.
Right.
Is I think the basis of Y2K.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
That is a crazy thing to... Were there Y2K disaster movies? There
God,
must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't as ubiquitous because these movies weren't as ubiquitous.
Yeah.
But I also remember a lot of movies that just talked about Y2K.
Sure, because it was something that was talked about a lot.
Like, there was a lot of things... I think it's this
Gen
movie.
Z doesn't understand the
No,
Y2K
they don't.
thing.
And once again, if you explain it to them, it's like, yeah, we were all stupid.
Yeah. They're like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like,
but,
yeah,
it
doesn't.
No, there's a movie called Entrapment, I think is the movie it is with Sean Connery, where part of the plan is that the computers will shut down for Y2K temporarily.
As
and
they
that's
reboot.
Yeah, and that's going to give them a window to steal something.
Excellent.
I think I remember that. It's like a 1999
That's
heist movie.
Fucking stupid.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but yeah, I'm looking up Y2K disaster movies because I know there were.
But yeah, it's such an interesting... I just love that...
Oh, yeah, here you go. There's one called just Y2K : Countdown to Chaos.
Great.
This is
An action
perfect.
shelf movie?
Yeah, that's a perfect action shelf movie for us. It was an NBC original TV movie.
Should we, one of these New Year's, like have it like start out the year with a Y2K movie?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We could do a New Year's month. There are like New Year's based action movies.
We should do that.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm reading about this movie Countdown to Chaos. Some members of the utility and banking and trade associations begged NBC not to air the movie, saying this is going to scare people for stupid reasons. Yeah.
And NBC only listened to their wallets.
A head of NBC said the concerns were, quote, silly.
Oh, you think?
Because they go, well, nothing's going to happen. It's like, no, we know nothing's going to happen. We're worried people are going to see it and then think things are going to happen and get stupid. Because people
Well,
are
some people,
dumb.
I'm sure, you know.
Oh God! My grandfather was somebody who had the full garage full of gas and water and stuff. He was ready.
Ready for Y2K?
Ready for Y2K. Yeah, he really was convinced.
Was
that
he
was
ready
gonna
for
happen.
2012 as well?
Ooh, did he get into that? He was still alive, so I don't know if he was into that. No, that was Mayan shit, and he was crazy Christian, so probably not. You
Well,
know?
according to this
Yeah,
movie,
it's-
they are
it's possible to do
associated.
both. Yeah. Oh man, we do need to see Y2K countdown to chaos.
100%, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so steam vent kills Kane.
Steam Vent kills Kane, and while that's happening, JC climbs the mountaintop.
Sure.
Puts on the 5 rings, and in classic, movie fashion, a sky beam shoots up.
Yeah, like you do.
Yeah, and that. What does that do exactly?
I don't know.
I mean, eventually the dome retracts.
That reverts the apocalypses,
Yeah,
I guess.
but then she's scorched and naked.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Really?
When the father finds her, she's all, I mean, you don't see anything. She's laying on the ground,
Yes.
but she's all covered in soot and doesn't have clothes, kind of like Daenerys at the end of season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Interesting.
And the father, of course, is just like, baby, you did it. And he doesn't cover her up immediately, which I thought was creepy.
Weird.
And it may be mentioned in a review I'm going to read here in just a second.
No.
No, what? People being creepy on the internet?
I completely missed. This is about where I was looking at my phone.
Yeah.
Because I did not care about the film. I really try to pay attention to these movies.
Yeah.
I
But
really try.
sometimes the
Sometimes
movies-
it's impossible.
No, I feel this way about both Action Shelf and monster movies.
Yeah.
I'm really invested, but if it doesn't stay crazy through like the first half hour, then it's like
You have to admit to yourself, it is a little bit on the film.
yeah, right. It is sort of like we go as we and I do mean this legit. We go in with an open mind. Now
Yes.
that doesn't mean that there are tempered expectations.
I didn't expect this movie to be good.
No. But I
But
thought
I will say the beginning of this movie was very entertaining.
I know when it started to get in, I'm like, oh, this movie's crazy. This could be fun.
Yeah.
And then it kind of peters out.
Yes.
But
Yeah, I do
so
not
he-
remember the daughter being completely naked.
Well, I mean, it's very
It's very
It's still Sci-Fi Channel.
Yes.
But he wraps her up and goes, "Let's go home." And I gotta say, one of the worst things you can say in a movie to me is "Let's go home."
I'm gonna end every movie that I write in the future with "Let's go home."
I think we did write a movie. If you remember, we wrote a parody of old sci-fi movies, and I think it did end with somebody going, "Let's go home."
It was me, John.
Yeah,
I was the one who said it.
I think we did do that. Once again, on the condition of that joke is about how much we hate movies
Yes.
going, "Let's go home." And they do go home, and the family is reunited. And then what's this? The dog that ran away at the beginning comes back.
Oh, so they did show the dog run away?
They did,
I
yeah.
must have missed that as
It
well.
was pretty early.
Okay.
It was very early. Once the ice...
Why didn't the movie follow the dog? That's my question.
That's why the father and grandmother go outside, because the dog runs outside when she gets
That's
impaled.
it.
They're chasing
Okay,
after the
okay,
dog.
okay,
And then we forgot about the dog, and then at the end they goes, "Hey, look, Rusty's home," or
What
whatever.
if the dog was actually an agent of the apocalypse?
He just turns to the camera and his eyes narrow.
It's
like,
literally the Simpsons joke.
with the shifty eyes.
Yeah.
You want to change the main character to a dog, and nobody's gonna know what the hell's going on. They will if you give him shifty eyes.
Exactly. Yeah. Why didn't they do that?
Sequel, Evil
Yeah,
Dog.
Evil dog.
Yeah, and the family's just like together going, "Ha ha ha! Let's have Christmas." And I'm like, wait a minute. Once again,
Hold on.
There's also going to be so many fucking questions about what happened in this town.
Sure.
The investigations that will be launched. Not to mention the countless dead.
I think that the American government would probably quarantine this. Like,
Oh, God.
Like they would definitely not
It's a-
let anybody leave.
It'd be the next several years of the lives of the people in this town looking into what's going on.
Yes, exactly.
What happened here?
Yes,
They're just like, ha ha!
we're totally fine.
Yeah. You know what I was waiting for when she undid all the disasters? I was waiting for the people to come back to life.
I was also.
I thought this movie was just going to undo everything. Or for half a second, I thought it's going to time travel back to the beginning.
Ooh.
I thought it was going to be one of those movies where it's like, and it never even happened.
I kind of thought that the daughter would go up to heaven.
I did also
in
think the
in
daughter
sky
was going to
beam.
be gone. Like the prophecy was right, but she had to sacrifice herself, basically.
Yes, somebody else couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought the ending was going to be like them on Christmas going like, she did it, you know?
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
No, it's not even. It doesn't
Does
even, it doesn't even commit to that. You know, it's
Like, because I could imagine, like, the North Star, like, sending that beam down, and she goes up to the North Star or something.
yeah,
Creates
Didn't
a new
we-
constellation.
Didn't we see that in the Scott Adkins Alien movie?
Yes.
Where the guy who sacrificed himself, like, was on the radio or something like that, and there was some
Yes.
indication he's, like, in another universe. Or,
Yes.
Yeah, there was something along that line.
did forget about that movie.
Yeah.
Boy. I
Yeah.
do
Oh,
love
that
Scott,
movie
but
is
that movie
totally forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's as we talked about. Scott isn't always in great stuff.
Yes,
but,
but he is always great in those things.
Oh, and he rules in that movie. This movie could use some Scott Adkins in
Sure
it. And
could've.
just some martial arts in general.
Oh, man, can you imagine if Scott was the dad in
yeah.
this movie?
All right, listen up. This is
Listen
what's
up.
gonna
And he's going with his British accent.
The 12 Days of Christmas.
We're going to kick these 12 disasters in the face.
I don't think Kane would have done very well. There would have only been one
What
fight
if
with
Kane was Scott Atkins, actually?
There you go.
The dad.
Oh, wait, give me that girl.
Give me that girl.
You don't have the balls to kill her. Come here, you. We would have sided with Kane if Scott
Yes!
Adkins played him.
Absolutely.
We love our boy Scott.
Yeah.
And also tease for next year, of course, we are doing an Adkins month. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned for Adkins April.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's going to be a good month.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
So that's the 12 disasters of Christmas.
Oof.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeesh.
Not a gift to anyone.
No.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Well, listen, it is always my unfortunate duty to find the weirdest IMDb reviews. Unfortunately, little light on the IMDb reviews, so I did have to go to Amazon for this one.
Okay.
And this comes to us from Amazon user Marcus Barris,
Marcus Barris.
who
It's Emperor of Rome, if I'm not mistaken.
Marcus Barris, and I decree the 12 disasters of Christmas. No, his review is titled, and I'm going to read it in the voice I think this is written.
Okay.
in. I like the ending.
Okay. All right. I know where this is going.
When JC finds the last ring to stop the world from ending, a beam of light from a rock shaped with a Mayan symbol, then JC's clothes start to burn off. Then after JC was found by her father naked. This is my favorite part of the whole movie. In the movie, they did explain the first disasters, but the last 6 weren't explained in the movie. Why? And that guy named Cain, when he saw the ancient book of the page to sacrifice JC, he thinks to sacrifice JC that will stop the world from ending. But he was wrong. It did stop the world from ending. 5 out of 5 stars.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that is all over the place, man.
That is both critiquing and also being weirdly creepy.
Yeah.
Good
When
lord.
the father finds the girl naked, that's my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah. I can't believe my wife left me.
Oh my god.
I can't believe my children don't talk to me.
Now, our old pal Bruce didn't get to watch this movie.
What a shame.
But he did just very recently watch another Sci-Fi Channel disaster movie that I think we've seen called Blast Vegas with Malcolm the Middle star Frankie Muniz. Do you remember this?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Blast Vegas. Here's Bruce's review. His review is titled Sci-Fi with a Touch of Romance.
Ooh.
This is different for me. I'm reluctant to watch science fiction, but I was truly infatuated with this one. This was surprisingly recommended by Prime, and I just bravely went for this adventure.
So brave.
Thanks again, Amazon Prime Video. 5 out of 5 stars.
See what happens when we have the courage to follow our dreams, John?
He doesn't normally like sci-fi, but this one he just found infatuated.
Deja vu, not a fan.
No, warning, time travel in that movie.
Yeah.
By the way, that I actually watched that movie somewhat recently, Deja Vu. The time travel is such a minor thing. I mean, it's not a minor thing, but it's like Denzel time travels once to like 3 days ago.
Yes.
It's not like a thing all about time travel.
No.
I mean, there is the like cyclical thing where he's finding evidence that he has already time traveled back.
Yes.
But it's not, I wouldn't call that like a heavy sci-fi movie. It is
not,
an action thriller
yes.
with some sci-fi elements.
It's not, what is that Bruce Willis?
Looper.
Looper, yeah.
No,
yeah,
it is not like a heady thing. It really is like, something happened, I found the technology to go back in time and stop it.
Yes.
But it's all set in modern day, basically, so it's there's some time travel shenanigans, but it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm sorry, that's too much. Otherwise, it has all the requisite chasing, shooting, punching, and kicking that he loves.
They're all there.
Yeah, he just is like, oh, man, he went back in time at one point.
Time travel?
Oh,
Gross.
boy. Oh, man. Well, the 12 disasters of Christmas. Listen, do we give the best kill? Which one? It's between the two. No one-liners in this movie that I caught.
Absolutely not. I'd say let's give it to the
Christmas lights.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Well, what do we want to pick for our action movie title generator here? What do we want to plug in?
Great question. Like
it's got to be another holiday theme.
It's a holiday themed
movie is centered around a disaster again?
I guess so.
Yeah. We can.
I mean, this movie kind of did everything a little bit, but maybe let's focus in on one type of Christmas disaster.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch this. As we know, we have different modes on this thing. I'm going to switch this to sci-fi title generator.
Great. Okay, great.
And say that this movie is. This one's called A Robot Takeover.
Okay, John.
Yeah,
I've got it.
Yeah.
Animatronic Christmas decorations become sentient.
Like Santa with muscles.
Like Santa with muscles.
Yeah.
Become sentient.
Yeah.
And I forgot about that.
Remember that one tried to kill Hulk Hogan?
Yes. They become sentient and decide that the only way to have a good Christmas is to eliminate the humans.
That's perfect. So you've got it's set in like a small kind of town like this, like a suburban town.
Yes,
and everybody's got these animatronic decorations in their lawn.
A Christmas storm happens and lightning strikes
now
an
we're
animatronic
talking.
Santa Claus.
Now we're talking. And then he is able to spread that to the other robot.
Yeah,
and he leads a robot
He
uprising.
places his mechanical mitts upon other animatronic.
There's like a Frosty the Snowman.
Yes,
there's a Rudolph. There's all
and gives them life.
All the icons of Christmas.
Yes.
There's a Nutcracker. Just because I want a guy chomped in a Nutcracker's mouth.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or he impales somebody with the bayonet on his rifle.
Or a reindeer. Grandma literally gets ran over by a reindeer.
Grandma does that, but also for some reason the light on Rudolph's nose shoots lasers.
Oh yes.
And they're
oh my
disintegrating
God.
people.
These are all great.
It's kind of turned into that Futurama Christmas episode.
A little bit, yes.
With John Goodman as evil robot Santa.
Yes.
One of my favorites, man. And his laser Tommy
that is,
gun. I watch that every Christmas.
Your mistletoe is no match for my toe missile.
Yeah,
one of my favorite lines.
Amazing.
Yeah,
oh, God,
yeah. This is turning into that, but you know what? That's okay.
It's that, but it's that in like a modern day setting, and
yes,
it's
a small town.
Now, which of our action shell favorites is trying to stop the madness?
Great question. Okay,
oh my God.
Is this another father-daughter?
Yeah.
Picture?
Well, it's got to be. Well, because it's got to be a family story.
Yeah.
So maybe it's sort of a thing where the father's been. The divorce, we love a divorce at Christmas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Also, so our crowd watching it can
right.
relate.
Our divorced dad needs to relate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they need to empathize.
So you got a father-daughter. So it's the first Christmas they've been together in a while.
Yes.
Yeah,
because the daughter's been with the mother every other Christmas.
And maybe it's a thing where the mother now has like a rich new husband. They go on like a cruise.
Right,
so
and they live within
Yeah.
They live in a big city, whereas the dad lives in a small town.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I can't believe I have to go. Mom's going to the Bahamas for Christmas, and I have to go stay with Dad.
In Idaho?
Yeah, and he's like a burnout sheriff's deputy,
yes,
right?
100%.
Yeah, yes. whose booze is a little too much. This is sounding like a Dolph role.
It is.
Yeah,
I think it's Dolph.
As for Christmas, you gotta stay with me.
Yeah, stay with me. It's not like it's not like your mother's fancy, apartment or whatever. But we make.
And he's trying a little too hard, but he's also kind of surly.
Yeah,
but they will come to love Christmas and each other again by battling this army of robots.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
This sounds amazing.
It's a great movie.
So look for that. What did we see the title? What the hell was it? A robot takeover.
Yes. A Christmas story.
Yeah, a robot takeover. Yeah, robot takeover : a Christmas story.
Yes.
That's coming to a red box near you. All right. Well, listen, as we said, that wraps up our month of Christmas movies, but we do still have one more week left in the year for our final movie of 2022. And I did think we deserve a little something for the end of the year.
Yeah, after these great Christmas movies we've watched.
And I don't think we've talked about him this year. So it's Burt Reynolds time next week on the show. That's right. Burt Reynolds is Malone next week on the show.
God damn.
Absolutely. Now, this is one that has 2 taglines, so I will ask you, would you like to hear these taglines?
Let's hear both of them.
The woman held the key to his past. The man wanted to buy his future. Now both were trying to kill him. Burt Reynolds is Malone. Get ready, because the second one is even better.
What?
Malone, ex-cop, ex-CIA, explosive. Burt Reynolds is Malone.
Ooh, there's the movie.
That's
the
it,
poster.
Man. The poster, man. This is prime 80s Burt action, man.
Not only do we get one good tagline, we get 2 good taglines.
2 good taglines.
Normally
on this one.
we get one shitty tagline.
And can I say, this movie's called Malone, but it's based on a novel called Shotgun.
Yeah. Yes.
We also get Cliff Robertson, who people may remember as Uncle Ben from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Okay.
We get former supermodel turned actress Lauren Hutton.
Okay.
But I gotta say, as soon as I saw ex-cop, ex-CIA, explosive, I'm like, we have to watch.
We have to. Okay.
We have to. We've got Burt with a crazy automatic cannon.
Yeah. Let's close out this year with a bang.
This is gonna be a good one.
Yes.
I mean, just come on, man. Look at these stills.
Oh yes.
This is 100%. This is
the
not
intensity on his face.
This is not a canon movie, but I think it's adjacent.
It looks reminiscent of a canon
it's
movie.
It's in that vein.
Yeah,
I don't think Burt ever did a canon movie, which actually is kind of surprising.
That is shocking.
He seems like somebody they would have wanted.
Yeah.
But man, I am excited for this. He's got a sick hairpiece and his mustache. Oh man, Burt Reynolds is Malone next week on the show to finish up the year. And of course, tune in also for we'll be doing the 2022 Shelfies as well.
That's true.
Coming up here. That'll probably be right at the beginning of next year. So it'll be first couple days of January, somewhere in there. We'll put that out. But yes, absolutely. So it'll come out on the 30th, this final one, before we start next month's theme.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it, though, for this week's episode of The Action Shelf. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Michael Listman.
Till next week, get yourself some action.
The Action Shelf. The Action Shelf. The Action Shelf.